Run the wrong command can break things, waste time, and expose the team to chaotic engineering. So when you first secure shell into a new server, before you install anything, before you run a single command, before you modify a, a single configuration file, what do you do? Say the hiring manager. This is not a simple question. This question tells the hiring manager what type of engineer you are. So you should make sure that you structure very well your answer because your answer can jeopardize this opportunity. So this is how you should architecture your answer. You should say the first time a secure shell into a Linux server. The first thing I do is to check the distro. The second is to check the type of operation system running in the system. The third is to check the kernel. And the fourth is to check the architecture tab. Without wasting any more time, Oboso. So, we are here on the login prompt on one of my servers. So, let's assume that this is your production server. You put your username, password, okay, you are in. So, what you're going to tell the hiring manager that the first time you log on a Linux server, the first command you run is to catch etc os release. The reason you run this command is because it's universal. Is it available on all the modern Linux distribution? It doesn't matter. It's Red Hat, Ubuntu, Debian, Rocky, Linux, and so on. And you go on and let the hiring manager know that what you are looking for first is the name. This tells you that we are on a Rocky Linux distro. And you also look if the distro you are on is supported, and you can further down here. So it tells you down here that Red Hat support the version 10.1, and you come here, you check your version, and you see that is it supported by Red Hat and also by Rocky Linux himself. But one of the most important piece of information that if you can share this with the hiring manager, he is going to be impressed. Is it this information ID like? If the ID like is Red Hat, CentOS, and Fedora, that tell you that the command you'll be running on this distro are the same command that can also work on Red Hat, such as the DNF command, the firewall D command, and also it also tell you that Linux come by default of this distro. So this line right here can make you stand out. And seeing that we are on the Rocket Linux distro, we can actually catch because even Rocky had his own release fire. And we can see that here. So the reason that we don't want to talk about this is because this information right here, we can find that already in this powerful release fire. And this release fire, if you are into containers, even in Docker container, if you catch, you're going to be able to get the information about the distro you are currently using. So the first thing that we tell the hiring manager is that we catch the etc os release fire. Now that we know the distro, we want to go one level deeper. We want to confirm exactly what operation system is actively running on our machine. So we're going to tell the hiring manager that the next step is to find out which OS is currently running on our system. And here is the hardy gem, a command you already know from day two. And that command is hostnamectl. This command tells us about the operation system currently operated on our system. And for our case, is Rocky Linux 10.1. We are not going to get in the information that we discussed on day two because I am assuming that you know that already. So the second thing we're going to share with the hiring manager is that we're going to check which operation system is running exactly on our system. The next answer to share with the hiring manager is that you check the kernel version. And you have to share with him what this matters. So you are going to say this. I check the kernel version because this matters when we will be applying security patch or compile draft and also during troubleshooting. And then you share with the hiring manager that the easy way for you to check the kernel version on your system is to use the uname command-a. Here is a current kernel on your system, and this is the release version. And here, this tells us that we are on the Linux system. And this is the short host name that we learn on day second. And finally, the architecture tab. There are many tabs of architecture. So if we can confidently share with the hiring manager that the last thing that we check or is to check the architecture tab because in the future we might be install new package and we have to make sure that those package are compatible with our system. So on our system, to check the architecture tab, we're going to use uname -m. This command tells us that we are on the system with the architecture S86 underscore 64. So most of the package installed on this system are built with this architecture. And we can check that using the rpm command. rpm qa open SSH. And here we can see that we have two open SSH package on this system. The first is for the server and the other is for the client. And we can see here the architectural tab at the end here. So that means that there is a compatibility. So it's very important for you to share this piece of information with the hiring manager to stand out. Now you have it. So during your next interview, if this question comes, make sure that you nail it.